The beginning of these shows, Artie Quitter podcast. There's a Richard Pryor album. The first one I got. It's one of the ones with the N-word in the title. So hard to buy those records. Bicentennial Nigger, which is obviously 1976, but he had an album out called That Nigger's Crazy, and I went to go buy it at a Bradley's department store. I was 15. My older cousin said you have to buy it. It was taped in San Francisco at a club. I think it might have been at the Hungry Eye, and. So there's a big black kid behind the counter, and you had to ask for the record that you wanted, and I'm like I couldn't do it. The kid goes, what record do you want? I go, I want a Richard Pryor album. He goes, which one? I go, that something's crazy. That can you help me out here? That Nicaragua's crazy. That Nixon's crazy. And the kid knew what I wanted, and he didn't help me at all. He goes, no, I don't understand, no. And I never did it. I bought like the least controversial. I bought like a Bangles album. I said, fuck it, just let me get Walk Like an Egyptian. What's the most least offensive record I could get? I think Pryor did that just to fuck with white kids trying to buy it. He lost a lot of sales. He had a record out called That Nigger's Crazy. And the cover is like, he's got his face like, he looks high. He's on crack in the fucking book. But the beginning of it is you hear glasses clanking at a club, and it's some guy announcing, goes, please give a big San Francisco round of applause, Mr. Richard Pryor, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, give it up. And he walks on stage, and this is how he opens. I mean, literally, you hear people making orders to waitresses. And he goes, I hope I'm funny. I haven't seen a lot of white people lately. There's a shortage of white people. Y'all stop fucking. There ain't no shortage of niggas. Because niggas is fucking. That's his opening joke. And I laughed for hours in my room. I kept rewinding it. Because niggas is fucking. No punchline. Just talking like Richard Pryor. And he would do that preacher. God, what we have here is a place who is possessed. And God, I know you're busy. I've checked your schedule. I was wondering, God, if it wasn't too hard for you to come down here and exorcise that motherfucker to Cleveland or something. It was just fucking... It was like part of his arm. In The Hustler, Paul Newman shooting pool, when he was on, he said the cue was like part of his arm. When Pryor did that stand up, the microphone, it looked like it was part of his arm. Of course, he died young. Bad last 15 years, which I think I'm going to see. And Gene Wilder. Boy, poor Gene Wilder, man. What a nut. His obituary in the New York Times, the guy was a psychological mess. Really bad. Alzheimer's, I think, was a welcome thing. He forgot about a lot of the crazy shit. He was the crazy one. Without dope, Richard Pryor was fine. The great Sam Morrill is back.
Thanks, Artie.
And good to be here with you, of
Thanks
course, in my apartment.
Me,
and anytime, buddy. Anytime. And, of course,
I'll
Kevin...
take you up on it.
Yeah, come on. Look, it's Hoboken. Don't worry about me and my problems. Bring booze if you want. Come here. Honestly, I want it to be a party.
All right.
I want it to be a party. Come here.
I feel guilty slurping on an aged scotch in front of you.
Do whatever you want. Brown liquor, baby. Brown liquor. No, honestly, listen.
I was just in San Francisco last week, and yeah, what a queef of a city. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean, I love it. It's beautiful. There's so much I love about it, but as a crowd, it's interesting that Pryor did that because
different time, man. You're right.
There's nothing you can say. They
terrible.
Were so
terrible.
I mean, granted, I did 3 minutes on the alligator baby, but he had it coming.
No, they all would. No, listen. You know what happened? Here's what happened in the world. Kevin Dombrowski, by the way. Here's what happened. In the late 60s and early 70s, when Pryor and George Carlin, those guys got famous, and Lenny Bruce, the uptight people were the Republicans. They were the uptight ones, the right-wing people. Yes. The liberals had a sense of humor. That has done a 180. Now, liberals, the people who occupy San Francisco, are uptight about everything.
Everything.
And Republicans are the ones with a sense of humor. Trump is the rapscallion, fucking fun-loving guy.
They don't. You're right. They've elevated themselves. Like I would do a joke about like trans people or something, and they'd be like, "No,
you can't."
And I'm like, well, I just made fun of white people, and you laugh.
Exactly.
So it's like you weirdly elevated yourself, and that's in some way is like fucked up thing of like white supremacy.
Of course it is. No, and there's that thing of like usually it's not black people get offended by a racial joke. It's white people who are patronizing, and they go no,
Right.
and that's worse than overt racism. It's like saying no, you guys don't understand why you should be offended. I'll tell you.
Well, it's
why.
not worse than overt racism. I mean, Tulsa was pretty bad.
Well, I mean, listen. No, I think that guy would. I think that guy would agree that okay, that one time the gun is worse. Artie, like his family's probably going, Artie, I get your point, but Jesus. That was I forget what gun.
I know exactly what you're saying.
No, I mean, but
San
in other
Francisco
words-
it's such a great city, so you want every show, and the crowds are smart. That's what's cool. Is they are smart,
Right, and they use it for bad. Look, in other words, here's a joke I did this weekend at Caroline's. I said, and again, it's just something I thought of. I say the stupidest shit on stage at this point. I said, people try to get me to stay clean permanently, and I tried transcendental meditation. I got kicked out the first day. No one told me my mantra couldn't have the N-word in it. Okay, and it got moans. I said, guys, all right, listen, guys, it's a joke. I didn't go to have transcendental meditation. I don't have a mantra. I didn't have the N-word in it because I never went. Everything I just said is false. It's what's called a joke.
Right. To be fair to that crowd, they also moaned when you said the word Sandusky, which was like fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah. I should have been more.
Although
current.
Sandusky was centered. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
I should have been more current.
That guy had it together.
They groaned because it was outdated references.
You talk about manly men. I mean, Joe Paterno looked the other way. He's fucking kids, and the guy knew how to fucking run a good 4-3 defense. You find a guy.
Talk about the bro code.
Exactly.
Really?
Well, no, San Francisco. Where did you play? The Punchline or Cobb's?
No, I did a taping for this show called The Guest List, which is on that streaming service CISO.
That can suck too, TV tapings, because you have these asshole talent coordinators that are, the head of fucking, the liberal causes, and they have an agenda with the audiences they find. Like Bill Maher. Look at Bill Maher's fucking monologue. Bill Maher's a smart, funny guy, but the jokes he does would bomb in every club in the country.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Did you not get it?
Right. New rule. You're stupid. I'm smart because you believe in God.
New rule. Islam is stupid. I'm sorry.
You're dumb. That's my new rule. That's my new joke. You're dumb.
Well, the best is they just think they should be offended. Like I did a thing about, as I said, the alligator baby, and I was like, one of you name the baby's name.
Right,
and they were like, I was like, no, you all know him as the alligator baby, too. You have no investment in
It's
this.
right. Are the parents here? No. So let's just have fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, they are here? I'm sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. God damn it. Who knew they'd be here? So when Pryor was doing those jokes back then, it was in front of people who were not the uptight ones. They weren't uptight. They had a sense of humor. You could poke fun at Nixon. You know what I mean? Because, and that's what Saturday Night Live used to do. Now it's the other way around. And comedians will normally go after people who get offended, who get uptight because it's more fun.
It's friendlier now.
Yeah, everything's friendlier. That's an enemy.
Even
to
I
comedy.
think in sports, even like how the players, they're all buddies now. You know?
Fuck you. I know exactly. Exactly. The old days, it started with McGuire and Sosa. Sosa congratulates Mark McGuire for hitting a home run that might cost him the pennant. Runs in and hugs him. In the old days, Pete Rose would run in and punch the guy in the face because he had a bet on the game.
Well, look at the Giants and Cowboys. They had Des Bryant and Odell Beckham warming up together,
I saw
tickling each other in the end zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Odell Beckham was laying,
Fucking
and Des
asswipes.
Bryant wakes him up by tickling him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I got my mortgage on the game. Have a little more anger. Think of me. Pricks.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If the Giants and Cowboys can be friends, where
Well,
the fuck is the NFL going?
I'll give you an example of a night years ago. This is 2004. I mean, yesterday we played. I'd forgotten about this. I forgot how eerie this was. Yesterday we played this news report from me. We used to go to Vegas with the Stern Show every year. It was. I went 02, 03, and 04. We were there for a week, and I knew what it was like to be the Rolling Stones. The first week I was there with the Stern Show, I fucked 11 strippers in 1 week.
Oh my God.
That's me. That's me. Ask anyone I went to high school with. I'm not a ladies' man. A retard could have tripped into pussy.
In 1 week?
In 1 week, I fucked 11 strippers. The last one charged me. Well, it became a famous story. She woke me up and said, "I'm leaving," and I said, "Okay, bye. This is great." And she goes, "Can I get $500 now?" I didn't know she was charging me. I said the first 10 didn't charge me from Spearmint Rhino. And she goes, yeah, so I guess she really needed drugs. So I said, listen, what am I going to do? I had a boatload of cash. I was up money. I had like 83 grand in my fucking duffel bag. And Howard had the private
You're like
jet.
a hitman.
Well, Howard had the private jet, so I wasn't going to go through customs and other. So I had all that money. So it was very rock and roll. So, and Howard and Beth are sleeping 10 feet down the hall. I'm gonna get into a fight with a whore at the heart. Okay. I would have given her 10 grand. She undercut herself.
So Rhino is like, that's like the legendary one.
Let me tell you something, man. When I was on Stern, I would go in there. When Howard wasn't there, I was Howard. In other words, yeah. I was Howard when I went there. We would sell out every show from plugging it on Stern. And I went to the Spearmint Rhino, and the guy who managed the place would say, Art, pick 2 chicks. And for the weekend, they were my broads.
Oh, my God.
They wouldn't eat. I took them to Nobu. They wouldn't eat unless I gave them permission. Do you understand? They wouldn't eat until I gave them permission.
Was there a safe word involved?
They looked like young Nicole Eggerts.
Oh, man.
They were smoking. And, one licked my ass while I fucked the other one.
Oh!
Did you give her permission?
That was improvised. I think she was in the groundlings. Don't deny.
This is why we didn't order dessert at dinner.
And they weren't allowed to charge me. Clearly, they were whores. I mean, I put that out of my head though. But what happened was they would give me 10 grand in chips to play with because they knew I'd turn that into minus 80 grand. So what I said to the girl, I said to them, I almost actually did this. I never did, but I joke about it in my act. $10,000 in chips. When I went to take a leak, I almost asked 2 of them to keep clapping their hands. What the guy used to the liquor store used to do to us as kids. Clap your hands, Lang. If I hear you stop clapping, I'm punching you in the face. I'm checking the inventory. So at the end, I would just say, take as many chips as you want. You see these 2 whores like fucking putting chips.
Oh my God.
So undignified. They ordered everything from room service. But every time I went there, it was. Well, I'll give you the classic story.
They're like Mario Bosco.
I'll give you the classic. Yeah, and Mario Bosco looked like Nicole Eggert. Jesus Christ. Dan, what a horrible analogy that was. I'm receding like a turtle. The classic story was a hotel that wasn't the Hard Rock. I did stand up there, and the guy who ran it was this rich kid who just got the joke. And again, because I would plug it on Howard, I would sell out, the 5,000 seats in a second. And the money was insane. And they wouldn't give me a check, they would put it on credit, which was a good idea on their part. I can't get into it. I can't get into it. What happened? So the money lost on stupid shit, whores and drugs, and the Carolina Panthers. Well, Norm Macdonald didn't smoke for 5 years. I went to his office at the Norm Show. He was huddled up in the corner like a homeless person smoking. And the games had just happened. I knew he was gambling. I said, "Why are you smoking?" He goes, "Ask Mark Brunell." Ask Mark Brunell. Oh God, the shit we used to do. Production assistants, fresh out of UCLA working on the Norm Show, we would send them with 80 grand cash to Vegas. That was their first assignment out of film school. And we would tell them to Norm had a system where we could bet on everybody except Tiger Woods. We had the whole field, 140 guys. If one of those 140 guys won, we won $100,000. If Tiger Woods won, we lost 80 grand. 3 years in a row. Were the 3 years in a row he won the fucking.
Oh man!
80 grand each time.
We
were
insane.
Fucking snake bit, and we give the kid specific instructions, and he was like in his car on Route 15 in the middle of the night. I would tell him, I said, try to score me some peyote. I'll give you a place right off the thing. So anyway, we go every year to the Stern Show, and anyway, this guy said to me, Art, the show is tomorrow night, but you got it a day early. Go up, you have a whole inventory because I want you to do press. So I'm going to send one of my guys up to give you the itinerary. I go up, he gives me this huge suite. And 20 minutes later, the doorbell rings, and it's two of the smoking hottest chicks. One looks like Pam Anderson, one looks like a brunette version of Pam Anderson, a blonde and a brunette. And they had those hip bones, like a chick is so hot, like you see her hip bones with those jeans and like big fake tits. They were smoking. They were like my own personal Pam Andersons. And they came in, they started giving me a lap dance, and I fucked the two of them for like 3 hours. They ordered the strawberries and cream and stuff, and they left. So I shower up, I go back down, and I find them at the craps table. He said to find them at like midnight at the craps table. So now I'm ready to like party. I'm like, okay, that was relaxing. I see him, and he sees me, and he goes, "How was your fucking itinerary?" He starts fucking high-fiving everybody. I walked up to him, and this is why this guy just knew what he was doing. I went up all mad. I said, dude, this is really fucked up. He go, "What happened?" I said, "No redhead?" And everybody laughed. Okay. I do the show. I get back from the show the next night. I have a 7 a.m. flight. It's like 3 in the morning. I'm going to just relax and go to the airport. Doorbell rings. I go to the doorbell. The smoking hottest redhead you ever saw in your life. He sent the redhead up.
Oh, man.
All hookers, obviously. But what do I know? I'm not paying him. He was.
He didn't get the joke, but it doesn't matter. It's all right.
This is fine. Yeah. So again, it was the strip club across from the Hard Rock said to us, you're giving us so much business. Just come here if you need a blowjob, like a cup of coffee, and just tell us and we'll blow you.
I got that offer this weekend in Providence from a guy. So,
well, the guy always offered me too. There was always a guy offering me as well. Yeah. So like every 10 minutes, me and Benji were running across the highway.
Oh, God.
We need that blowjob, sweetie. And they stopped and they blew us. And these are professional blowjobs. Like, they should have a mechanic name on Jiffy Lube, like one of those mechanic shirts with their name on it. Raven. Raven will be cleaning your pipes. Okay, so here's a guy called in 2004. We had been out all night. Me and my girlfriend, we fall asleep. And again, Ronnie, the limo driver, wakes me up with security from the Hard Rock saying, "Art, are you okay?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "There's a report on TV that you're dead. We have to come up and just make sure you're okay. We have to look at you." I said, "What? What happened?" He goes, "Okay, come up." So they saw me and they played me the recording, and I go, "Oh my God!" I said, "Did my mother find out?" He doesn't. I called my mother. Thank God I got my mom. Because if this hit the scroll, it was right after 9/11 that scroll happened. It was so official. If my mother heard what you're about to hear, forget it. There'd be a nightmare. But we played it on the air the next day, and I got the chills. Listen to this. Go ahead, Dan. Play this.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen May. Breaking news from the Channel 8 newsroom. Eyewitness News has learned that comedian Artie Lang was found dead in his hotel room at the Hard Rock. Lang was in Las Vegas for the taping of the Howard Stern show. The hotel has confirmed his death and says that Lang's girlfriend found his body around 7 o'clock this morning. He was taken to UMC where he was pronounced dead. We are following this breaking story, and we will, of course, update you as new information becomes available.
Okay, Robin laughing, first of all. That was from the show.
Right.
Okay. Now, listen, could the vetting process be worse? The hotel confirmed his death. What? Didn't happen. The hospital confirmed his death. His girlfriend found him of a drug overdose. There's details.
That's giving me chills. That's crazy.
I said, could you imagine? My mother heard that and goes, she goes, "Is this someone doing an impression of you? Are you dead?" My mother didn't. I said, "Yeah, it's Fred Travelina, Ma."
The only thing that would have been more in depth if they described your clothing, if they described the shirt that
they
you were
just
wearing.
about did. And my girlfriend, by the way, well, I'll get into the girlfriend thing, but we found out it was Captain Jack Slater who called him with all those details. And he's a legendary Stern prank caller because he was mad I didn't get him into the Rhino VIP area. I told my girlfriend, "Can you believe this?" And she went, "I gotta go to sleep." And guess what had happened 2 weeks before in the same room? John Entwistle, who bass player, died in the room I had.
Oh, holy shit!
They found him dead.
Jesus.
with a sea of coke and all this S&M shit, and
That redhead blew him.
well, they said Entwistle died in the same room you're getting. It's like the death suite. I'm a big Who fan, so I said great. Like a month before, and now this guy.
Jesus.
I mean, they just put that on the air.
And
that was and the chick was smoking. Who said it too, by the way.
And there's no way that they just confused the two of you in the moment.
No. I mean, again. So here's what happened the night before. By the way, that's our new open. That's going to be the show open. We have to make that, right, Dan? We have the rights to that. Play that one more time. This is the new show open,
God.
guys. The new show open. Here we go.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen May. Breaking news from the Channel 8 newsroom. Eyewitness News has learned that comedian Artie Lang was found dead in his hotel room at the Hard Rock. Lang was in Las Vegas for the taping of the Howard Stern show. The hotel has confirmed his death.
What?
It says that Lang's girlfriend found his body around 7 o'clock this morning. He was taken to UMC where he was pronounced dead. We are following this breaking story, and we will, of course, update you as new information becomes available.
Robin all broken up about it. And then we'll just go, and now Artie Lang.
How weird is it that you get to hear what that would sound
No,
like?
I know. And my girlfriend reminding her that this is the body she found. And she was dating me. My girlfriend tried to give me that shit like a hot chick again because of show business. She goes, oh, no, you were always my type. I'm like, really? In high school, you had a poster of a manatee above your bed? You fucking liar.
It's fucked up because also your health plays a role in a why it was probably such an easy sell.
I was 35.
Yeah, but it's like they're not doing that to Mark Ruffalo.
No, they're not.
You know?
No, because what's he going to die of? A Greenpeace rally? Taking an overdose of Mahjong tiles? He died from being too sensitive. No, it was totally believable. You're right. It was 2004. So, yeah, that was the point. I was 35 years old. Lang's dead, 35. Or go on the air with that. Just put it on the air.
Fuck, dude.
What a detailed report.
Jesus.
So, okay. So that's our new open.
Yeah, that's almost like the guy was like, but we haven't confirmed. He's like, it's Artie Lang. Put it on the air.
Guys, did you hear? It wasn't Jessica Lang. Okay, the night before, here's what happened. We had a crew of guys after the show, and I did an appearance. We all got paid to do appearances at the Spearmint Rhino. So we were there, and Captain Jenks supposedly was in the crowd. I didn't even know. And I guess he got dissed or something. Sorry, Jenks. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. All right. My girlfriend was in town. She got there, and she was there, and she was not a huge drinker, but she was drinking. And I told you, drinking too much, something's going to happen because you're drinking too much. I had no less than 9 hits of ecstasy. 9, trying to stay up. I thought I was going to stay up throughout the show. Just go to the show the next day. A carafe of Jack Daniels. I mean, with a hamper full of Jack Daniels, and a lot of blow. And with these strippers, the coke they had was like pharmaceutical grade coke. The shit Entwistle probably got. If you're killing one of the Who, you're killing a guy in the Who. All right. You're killing a guy in the Who. All right. So I've been up and I'm jittery and everything. This 23-year-old stripper, I'll never forget. She was from Tampa. I remember everything about her. She was unbelievably hot. She was an 11. She starts talking to me, and my girlfriend is giving her like the evil eye. And my girlfriend leaves, and she said she had to go talk to Beth, Howard's wife. So I knew it'd be like maybe she'd be a while. So the chick just starts blowing me, and I'm like letting her blow me. And I said, look, I'm not technically I'm not cheating. I didn't do anything. I'm just, I'm not stopping her.
You have very slow reflexes.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I don't know. I don't want to. If I stopped her, maybe it's she could hurt her neck or something. It's a safety issue.
For 5 more seconds, I need to know
I
if
said,
this
listen,
is
she
real.
was so hot. All I'm going to need is 5.
In your defense, she shouldn't have left you in a strip club. I mean, what the fuck does she think's gonna happen?
Well, Beth
On
called.
ecstasy.
Beth called. She hopped to it. Anyway. God, there's shit going on. Anyway, I thought I'd be a few seconds, but apparently when you have 9 hits of ecstasy, a lot of cocaine, and a carafe of Jack Daniels, it takes a long time to come. So she's blowing me, and I come, and she fucking was like a champ, man. There wasn't an ounce of it. There was not a trace of sperm. It was. As David Tell would say, I hope your mouth can't get pregnant. And
it's like an episode of CSI.
As I'm, we'll play the CSI thing too. By the way, we got to play the CSI thing too. You just said something to remind me of something else with my name. That makes my health come to light. Okay, my girlfriend stumbles into the room as she's sucking my dick. My girlfriend sees me.
It's like a rated R sitcom. Artie,
like Friends, and she's sucking your cock. Why?
I'll be
and Rachel was.
could I be any more busted?
And Joey is getting his cock sucked. How? Rachel was blowing who? At Central Perk. You fucking fruits. Fucking ruiners of comedy. You were at the Spearmint Rhino. Why? That Matt speaks sarcasm. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. On Friends. I don't know, new friends trying to get blown. Followed by a very special riptide. Can the gang deal with sexism? And a very special message, friends. Can the gang deal with racism and its ugly? Can they deal with racism's ugly cousin, homophobia? Coming up on an all-new ER, they deal with homophobia's evil cousin, racism. Homophobia, evil cousin, homophobia. That real the real dramatic guy. Can they deal with racism? Homophobia.
I think of like Rodney in Natural Born Killers. You know?
Right. The worst human ever. Oh, that's so funny.
What? She walks in on you getting blown.
She goes, okay, walks me getting blown. I'm like, on top of this, my relationship's over. Now, it was fun. We had been together for like 5 years. There was talk of marriage. Like, thank God. I'd be homeless right now, unless the prenuptial agreement was the size of the Iliad. I'd be homeless. And again, she's the chick. You guys know. Everyone knows Dana was a Stern fan. She was the girl who, walked through the Bronx after I lost $20,000 in the Marlins game. I haven't led a good life. So she was a little crazy, but very, very pretty. And but this was a professional, whatever. So you can't stop that train. I came in her, but she saw me come in the girl's mouth. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So and now she's like stumbling. She's mad. I'm like, you okay? She's drunk, yelling at the girl. She takes a roundhouse haymaker at the chick.
What?
And she took a haymaker swing at the broad, and she hit me.
She took 2 shots in the mouth.
Yeah, right. Take this now. You've taken my boyfriend's cum. Now, how about my fist?
This is
It's a two-parter. After Artie comes in Rachel's mouth, Lisa Kudrow punches her in the face.
An audience laugh track right as she watches you get blown. Like,
And Artie's getting blown. Then on an all-new Jesse, Christina Applegate deals with the fact, finds out she was molested. Was Christina Applegate molested? I don't know, new Jesse.
so she punches the stripper in the mouth.
Tries to punch her. Hit me. Missed. Haymaker.
Where did she hit you?
Like in my shoulder. It would have been out of line if I got mad at her for that. I would have really been the dick. That would have been a tough Dr. Phil.
Really, Dana? Really?
Wait a minute. You got mad at her. You were just getting blown. Wait a minute, Artie. Is your name Artie? Yeah. Wait a minute. His enormous head. You were getting blown by a 23-year-old Tampa stripper. And you just ejaculated into her mouth. And your girlfriend of 5 years, who you might marry, sees this, tries to do what any normal Gindaloon broad from Patterson would do. Throws a punch at her, accidentally taps you in your fat shoulder, and you're mad at her. I'm calling a bullshit on that.
It really shows anger issues if you can get that mad after coming by getting hit in the shoulder.
No, I was like, hey, come on. Oh, what the fuck?
I think it was a good orgasm, right?
I know. She hits me. I go, wait, what the fuck? So, okay, the best thing happened, though. And I'm telling this story now because we had a terrible breakup. She's not exactly an enemy, but I haven't talked to her in 7 years. I don't care what she knows anymore. I hear she's got a mulatto kid. She won the mulatto. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy for her. I'm sure Uncle Patsy's happy, too. From what I remember. There's no way she listens. Like, again, it was it's 7 years ago. I don't care. She knows a bunch of stuff. I know a bunch of stuff about her.
If she listens, you won.
Well, exactly. Well, that was the worst thing about being on Stern. She was a school teacher, so at 7:30 she stopped listening, and she had this friend who listened to the whole show, and she would fucking get interpretations from her friend Angie at the fucking salon.
That sounds like a fun life that person leads.
Oh, I know.
Being a mole.
Well, no, exactly. I would come home and she'd go, so I guess Carmen Electra has a nice ass. I go, yeah, that's not exactly an unpopular opinion, sweetie. All right. The next day, I deal with this death shit. We're passed out. She's next to me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, she left the club. She got a ride home. Nobody else really saw it except one guy who worked on the
Just beating off in the corner.
Yeah, it was just me, the guy. I said, don't tell anybody. I want to deal with this because God forbid Howard finds out. I didn't deal with the shit on the air. So the stripper, who I'm sure would keep quiet. I think I gave her 25 grand in funny money that night. And okay, now I'm like, well, how am I going to deal with this? We get woken up to now the death call. Now I'm dealing with me dying, and I didn't know Captain Jax was mad. I get back to the bed and I go, we're up already. And I go, can we just talk this out now? She goes, why? What's the matter? What? I go, let's just talk this out. She goes, what are you talking about? I go, what do you mean? What am I talking about? What happened last night? I just want to explain myself. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. She was in a blackout. She was a blackout.
Oh my God.
She was in a blackout. Talk about luck. She didn't remember. She goes, she apologized to me. She goes, Art, I'm so sorry. I know it was an appearance. I don't remember anything after 10 o'clock.
Oh my God.
I said, you don't remember anything after 10 o'clock?
Next on NBC, does Artie clear his conscience?
Next. He gets all...
You were very rude to a stripper that sucked me
I
off,
said, well, I should have went, well, guess what you did? I walked in on you fucking a male stripper.
On the next friend.
No, she said, so I'm doing some math, and I'm going, wait, this happened at least 2, 3. I said, nothing after 10 o'clock. She goes, no. I go, well, listen, you weren't great. I mean, I said, you know I don't drink. I go, that's the problem. I told you, stop drinking. You're drinking too much. I said, something's going to happen. And the greatest thing ever happened. She was in a blackout.
Oh, my God.
Now, I've been in plenty of blackouts. The 9/11 could have happened. I could have been on the 80th floor. I wouldn't have known what happened.
She didn't at some point go, why is your shoulder black and blue?
No, the punch was not that good. Yeah, so she blacked out. I got over on it. I told the guy from the TV channel, I said, yeah, just don't tell anybody. And those guys were guys. They kept the fucking secret. And that was it. So it was a rough fun night. But then we got, I called my mother. She died because, again, the scroll thing. Imagine that on a scroll. It was a legitimate Vegas news station. As legit as they come. And the woman was so articulate. Found dead. I'll play that again. Listen to how articulate she is. I can't get over this.
She interviews the stripper. I was sucking his dick. And, honey.
Boy, someone's got a sarcastic. Kramer enters. Artie's getting blown. I don't know, New Jesse. I don't know, New Jake and the Fat Man. The Fat Man gets blown. You were getting blown. Again, the details.
So you didn't tell this story ever till now?
Not. You know what? Technically, no.
That's
not
insane.
on the air. No,
That's awesome.
Technically, I have not told it on the air.
Oh my God.
If you could call this on the air, it's like me, you, and my cousins. No. Wait a minute. And then you profited off of this by charging $6.95 a month for a podcast, which, quite frankly, is just you on a couch. Play it again, Dan. I can't get it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen May. Breaking news from the Channel 8 newsroom. Eyewitness News has learned that comedian Artie Lang was found dead in his hotel room at the Hard Rock. Lang was in Las Vegas for the taping of the Howard Stern show.
Robin, what is her deal?
Confirmed his death and says that Lang's girlfriend found his body around 7 o'clock this morning. He was taken to UMC where he was pronounced dead. We are following this breaking story, and we will, of course, update you as new information becomes available.
What else could break? He's dead. What, you going to get the wait time? Imagine that. So now knowing the backstory, Lang's girlfriend found him dead.
Jesus.
Imagine if the stripper heard it.
Found dead in stripper's mouth.
Imagine Lang's cock was found dead in the mouth of a stripper. Suffocated.
Not dead, limp.
Limp. Victim of an apparent suffocation. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, this is the first time exclusive. I've never told that story because, obviously, listen, I wanted to marry her at the time. You know,
you better. You didn't propose the next day.
No, but listen, I had to say it would have been odd if I wasn't a little offended. So the turnaround was, yeah, you really were out of line. Like I'm saying, what I'm not mad. Listen, I'm not mad. First of all, I've already forgiven you. Like that, like Michael Douglas in A Perfect Murder. I've already forgiven you. Yeah. So you know, and she goes, "Oh, thank you so much," and then I fucked her.
Oh my god!
Because she felt so bad.
Was the other guy?
I fucked her before she got sleepers out of her eyes.
The other guy was in that room too, just with a thumbs up in the corner.
Yeah, good job. We're cool. Yeah, Jenks, how's that sound? You got me laid, dick face.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Sorry, Jenks, I wasn't paying attention to you. You fuck.
How long did the story go until it was obviously Jenks? Like, how long did that run?
Oh, he called like the next week because it was getting. You know what? He didn't want to get because I was making him money. Sometimes I'd take him on gigs and like to walk out and say hi, I'm Jenks. I give him like $500. What fucking ne'er-do-well ripoff. And yeah, apparently,
you were giving this person money before?
Well, to come out and say hi, you know, because these guys were like home. I mean, again, Captain Jenks, believe it or not, was apparently unemployable. He worked at a gas station. I felt bad for those whack pack guys. Some of them were great though, like Riley Martin. Did you hear the Riley Martin story that I told on stage? That the you know, like the whack packer Riley Martin. You know the Stern Show at all, Sam? You know, like the whack packer.
A little bit.
Well, he's not as famous, but there was a black guy. His scam, his hustle, was he would tell people that there's going to be a rapture in the mothership. He knew people how to get on the mothership. You needed a pass. Was this sign that he drew with a crayon, and he charged $40, and that got you on the mothership. So apparently, these drunks in Newark, he could sell it to them. So he wanted $40. Howard, he was so funny on there. Howard gave him his own show, and he spoke like Foghorn Leghorn. He goes, I'll need $40 for the sign, Howard.
You are
right.
Motherfucker.
Right. Exactly. That's how he spoke. Okay, the funniest thing, I'll give you a classic story about him. The funniest thing that he used to say, he cannot say on the air. He kept calling his wife fat, and he was afraid of his wife, so he never said anything. And I would beg him. I said, it's so funny. You go, yeah, I love her, but the bitch is blowing up on me. You know, Artie, I'm telling you, I'm not a different woman. I said, you got to say that on the air. He goes, no, I can't do it. I depend on the bitch for laundry. He would say stuff like that. I said, everything you say is funnier than the fucking next. One day I go over there, because I'm the only guy who paid for the sign, and I was going to do his podcast with him and try to get a story out of it. So his wife answers the door, and again, you know, look, she was no Calista Flockhart. She put on a couple, and but very sweet. He sends her out in his minivan to get beer. She's on a beer run, and we're sitting there doing the podcast. Okay, what you need to know is, and he said this on the air, in the 70s, Riley did 5 years in Rahway State Prison. They found 500 pounds of weed in his car. 500 pounds of weed in a Volkswagen bus in 1975.
God.
Okay? He did like 5 years. He claims, I don't do that anymore, man. I'm totally straight. She calls up a half an hour later from the police station. She didn't know this. They pull it over. It's Riley's minivan. 300 pounds of weed in the minivan they found. Okay, she's looking at 15 years. His wife. She says it's my husband. So she's on the phone. His assistant picks up the phone. Well, his producer, and Riley screams from across the room. That's bullshit. The cops are lying. I don't move that kind of product anymore. I said, could you sound a little less professional? Yeah, what product? Could you sound a little less like Pablo Escobar?
Did they get the scale too?
Okay, listen what happened. He starts screaming at his wife because they're lying to you. They're lying. There's a mistake. There's some mistake. He goes, give me that bitch. Let me talk to her on the phone. So he starts yelling at her on the phone. Now, I knew he'd say funny stuff, but I didn't think he'd say the funniest thing in the history of man. Black guys just know how to deal with their women better, okay? She's looking at 15 years. It's clearly his fault, all right? Here's what he says to her, like into the conversation. Bitch, did they wear you or the weed?
Oh my God.
It's the single greatest thing. That should be on bumper stickers. I looked up, bitch, did they weigh you or the weed?
It's fucking hilarious.
I looked around me. There was not enough room to laugh. I had to go outside. I needed more room to physically roll around on the floor.
I'm dying. That's amazing.
He went down there. It got cut down to like some. I don't know. He had some sort of dealy cut. He probably flipped on a guy. He flipped on the guy. He probably got it from.
Shit.
And he got away with probation, and they let her off. But did they weigh you with the weed? There's not an ounce of like fat on that joke. That's perfect.
That's a great joke.
It's fantastic. I threw up laughing. And I said, you have to say that on the air. He never did so. Riley died, so I've been saying it in stand-up.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Bitch, did they weigh you with a weed?
That is amazing.
I've told that story on the air before, but it's worth repeating for new subscribers.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, but the other one is an exclusive. She was in a blackout.
I can't believe you got away with that.
Well, listen, the luck of fucking the Irish right there, and I'm not even Irish. That is like someone's watching out for you.
That's like the talented Mr. Ripley or something. You get away with that. That's unbelievable.
Save it for a rainy day, Gwen. Artie loves you. Pack that away.
That is insane luck.
Yeah, the kind of luck I clearly have not had. If I had that kind of luck with the Panthers... honestly...
Was that the other night? I was here for that, wasn't I?
I was back...
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
That's fucking crazy. And that never came up with you guys.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, she never had any...
No. Look, she was in a blackout. You ever been in a blackout? I mean, you really don't know. You don't remember.
That's fucking crazy.
I almost said it to her. I said, listen, that girl and me, it means nothing. I almost said we're up. Let's, clearly we've. I called my mom. Clearly that we've solved the fact that I'm not dead. Okay, we covered that.
Yeah, now kill me.
Things to do. Make sure people know I'm not dead.
Never retread steps anywhere near the strip club. That's unbelievable. I mean,
yeah. Again,
insane.
I look. I'm a typical guy too. I look around, going, "Well, we might have a few seconds here."
oh my!
Trying
God.
to MacGyver your way out.
Again, you got to understand the amount of pussy I got in that time is because, and again, I am no ladies' man by far. Surprise. But I tell you, because you got to understand, Howard was in a relationship. Fred Norris was in a relationship. They were older. I was the guy if Howard wasn't around. I was the guy sitting next to him. The other host of the show that's not abroad. So these strippers and porn stars figured I'm the guy to get around. You mentioned a website, it crashed. All I did was just, perpetuate that narrative. A porn star, a smoking hot 23-year-old porn star who ended up getting on the show, blew me in front of the Delano in South Beach in Miami at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're in front of the Delano. It's a breezy night. January night. I was down there for Super Bowl weekend. The night before, I made $100,000 doing stand-up at the Jackie Gleason Theater. I had cash on me, and she was at the show, and I said, I'll get you on Stern, whatever you need, blah, blah, bullshit.
Dana walks in like, wait a minute.
Dana's walking on the beach in a blackout. And, we were in an argument at this point. We were in a break. I love telling these stories now because fuck her. She talk about a professional porn star blowjob, just a professional. And and we snuggled on the beach, and I looked up and I said, if my life ended now, it'd be great. The end. It should say the end. This is a happy ending. No, I have to keep living. I have to wake up the next day.
Get her on the Stern Show.
Well, she got on. Yeah. She was hot enough to get on. That was back when he didn't have people like Gwyneth Paltrow on. It was back when he didn't think Ellen DeGeneres dancing was funny. Jesus Christ, what has happened to him? He's been brainwashed. He said on the air, Ellen DeGeneres, he looks forward to her dancing. That means, life is over. Comedy's over. So there you go. And that's got to be the new open. It'll be very. That's our Paul Anka song. This kid. Does anybody know this kid? By the way, Dean. He's an Arab. He's a comic.
Yeah.
I've known him forever. He was with me at the Comedy Store in 1995 when Pauly Shore told both of us, "Yeah, you guys, I saw your ex, dude. You're not ready for the store." That's what he said to both me and that kid.
I heard he's the worst person.
But first of all, he'd be a receptionist at a tanning salon if his mother wasn't Mitzi Shore. Okay, if he was lucky. The weasel thing was kind of funny, I guess, but and you talk to the kid. Here's what's annoying about him: how many Playboy centerfolds have you fucked? I don't know. The worst answer ever. I don't know. That's actually the best answer.
Yeah.
How many centerfolds you fucked? I don't know. Oh, you want to hit him with a bat? And I had got on Mad TV. I'm a regular on a sketch comedy show on network fucking television. I was a regular at the Cellar in New York, the Strip and Stand Up New York. I had done the road. I did a set in the Belly Room for who I thought was his mother. It was him and his brother, and this kid Dean too. And he goes, "You guys were funny, but you're not ready for the store." The store. Then he got a town car with, I think, Nicole Eggert. 1995 at the Comedy Store. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, he really was on top. Well, I don't even know. What does he do now? Does he do the road still?
He just did a special on Showtime. He just did a special on Showtime that you'll want to shoot yourself in the head. You'll go, Sam,
is he doing the Dustin Diamond tour of America?
Well, yeah. Again, that type of thing. But his stand-up was always horrible.
Yeah, you could just tell.
And he's doing stuff like... I had to watch it. It's a car wreck on Showtime. It was from last year, and this is a joke he does for 5 minutes. He goes, "It's in D.C." He goes, "Hey, Osama rhymes with Obama. What's that about? Woo, what's that about? Osama Obama. What's that about? Osama rhymes with Obama." For 10 minutes.
Not an ounce of fat on that one. Pretty good.
Boy, you can't trim that at all.
He was always.
I leave all of it in.
Always bad. I remember watching clips of him and just being like, it's unwatchable.
That weasel thing and the pussy he got. He got.
Well, he had the hookup. I mean, he had the hookup
Of course,
with his mom owning the club.
That and then with the MTV shit, that Spring Break stuff. People forget Sandler was a Spring Break kid before Saturday Night Live. He was one of those guys who went down there and
DJ.
Yeah. Oh my God. The fucking twat. Anyway.
Pauly Shore.
I look at this kid now. Now he's on CNN talking politics. You're not ready for the store. Maybe you should go on CNN. Maybe you could do Cable News Network.
You're not in the army now, material man.
You're not ready for in the army now. So you're not ready for Biodope.
Don't do my Obama on CNN.
If you do that bit, I'm the first person to make that observation. That Osama runs with the baby.
Is there someone you want to hear do social commentary less than fucking...
No. Mario Lopez, maybe. Whoa, toenail fungus. Do we have that clip of Mario Lopez's turn? Mario Lopez, I guarantee you, Marlon Brando could not do a better turn. He thinks, Mario Lopez in this commercial, thinks a movie star's getting out of a limo. It's not a movie star. It's toenail fungus. And could Brando have done this better? Who's coming out? Is it George Clooney? Whoa! Toenail fungus.
Yeah, that's the guy you want to see on CNN going, whoa, ISIS!
Hey, ISIS rhymes with crisis. I just figured out the last word in crisis is ISIS. You can't have crisis without ISIS.
Oh, he is.
Oh, and it works on broads. It works out broads. The chick Spade got pregnant. We're indirectly. The Stern Show, we used to have evaluations for Playboy. This chick was 18. Her mother brought her in from Missouri. She was unbelievably hot. Again, everything's on YouTube. You can probably find it. This was
She's 18 years old.
She was 18.
Oh
03,
my
04 had that milk-fed Missouri, like, and we're goofing on her. Like, the entire time I'm goofing on her. Like, she had a boyfriend in Missouri. She was going to go out to the Playboy mansion because Playboy took her right away. Made her a centerfold. That's how hot she was. The guy was there, and I'm like doing the boyfriend in Missouri, like, why is LeBron James's number in your phone? Why? I kept going, Mrs. Pauly Shore. Mrs. Pauly. And I said, Mrs. David Spade. I said those two names because they all hung out at the mansion. First guy she fucked is Pauly Shore. First guy she fucked.
Oh, come on.
Goes out there, Pauly Shore fucks her within a week. And then Spade fucks her twice, gets her pregnant.
Oh my God.
She has his baby in Missouri right now. Spade pays $40,000 a month.
Oh man. 40 grand. She did it.
In Missouri for $40,000 a month. She did it. She did exactly what
She
the mom
won.
She did what the mom told her to do. Fuck getting on a sitcom. Here's what you do. And we're responsible. Every time I see Spade, he goes, yeah, thanks for getting her on Playboy.
Oh, that's great.
He's got a daughter he never sees. Every time I see Spade, I go, did you see your daughter? He goes, yeah, I keep in the game.
Fuck your way to the grown-ups. Money.
Actually, it was Spade actually got won over by the kid. But $40,000 a month. You know what you could buy?
That's the saddest sentence ever.
Yeah, fine,
He got won over by his own kid.
Yeah, hey, look, you're my kid. $40,000 a month in Missouri, you could get like an enclosure, like a zoo enclosure, 50,000 square feet, and just look at your kid like an animal. Look, here's my kid.
All the Provel pizza you can eat.
In Missouri. And if she decides, it's up to her, by the way, if she decides to pursue her acting career and moves back to LA, because of cost of living, it goes up to 80 G's a month.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's why you want a rules of engagement to stay there. eight simple rules for dating my teenager. I said to Spade, I'm Italian from Newark. I pitched a show called One Simple Rule for Dating My Daughter. It's very simple. Anyway, yeah. Did I ask you for a piece of audio?
You're asking
Toenail
for
fungus.
toenail
Do
fungus.
you have that?
Yes.
Okay. Could Brando do this better? Here's Mario Lopez in the toenail fungus commercial.
Hey, I'm here on the red carpet where our next arrival is. Whoa! Toenail fungus!
How did you not get a Clio? Play it again, very loud.
Instructed by your doctor. Are you getting this? Hey, I'm here on the red carpet where our next arrival is. Whoa! Toenail fungus!
How many takes?
You get so deep into
How many
it.
takes does it take? How many takes before the director goes, could you try it? Hit fungus.
Mario, we need you to be more surprised. It's fungus in a car. It makes no sense.
And you know, on some of those fucking awful commercial editions, the writer who came up with Obey Your Thirst Sprite is in the corner like Hemingway, depressed. You're ruining my words. Mario, no. Do you understand what's going on?
Just sunglasses.
It's not George Clooney.
That's
It's toenail fungus. It's not a toenail. It's not a foot. It's the actual fungus. That's what we're not getting out of you. It's yellow slime. It's not the Jonas Brothers.
You're repulsed, but you're strangely drawn. You understand?
What's my motivation? $50,000. 2 episodes of Full House, dickweed.
Not doing the road like Screech.
You don't have to. You don't have to scrape the cum out of those dimples every morning.
You never have to see Mark Paul Gosselaar again.
How many times has a producer's cum dried in those dimples? How many times has David Geffen's cum dried in those dimples? And Calvin Klein, like, you know what, Mario? You have the ad campaign if you want. Do you need something to get that cum out of your dimples?
I think that's why Lisa Turtle's skin changed color.
How about his cold? I just got that. His call time for the toenail fungus shoot was 4 a.m. and he gets up in Malibu at a house and he's scraping cum. It's like, what a terrible morning. I got a toenail fungus shoot. I got to get out of here. I cut myself.
Whoa, Dollar Shave Club.
Whoa, AIDS.
Geffen semen.
I tell you what, I went to the doctor. What is it? The flu? Whoa, HIV.
That's how he does his walk-on ER. Mario, we want you to be the doctor, but can you do it like the toenail fungus?
Can you do it like that?
Yeah.
Let's see what you have. Tonsillitis. Whoa, cancer.
Whoa, diabetes.
Whoa, inoperable brain tumor. Whoa, it could be a migraine. Whoa!
Mario, we saw Saved by the Bell and we saw E.T. But we also wanted you to do. We noticed we brought you in because of the toe fungus specifically.
E.T.?
He's an E.T.?
No, Entertainment Tonight.
You're a little too hip for me. Calling E.T.
E.T.
I'm still working on ER. E.T. You're the first straight guy who I called it E.T.
Oh, Geffen semen.
It was a pretty big Spielberg movie.
Right, exactly. Sorry for confusing it. Sorry, we confused it. You know what? Andy Kaufman used to do a character. He would wrestle women. Like, he'd go to Memphis, Tennessee, and when the redneck crowd would get mad at him, he'd go, "You guys are dumb. I'm from Hollywood. I'm smarter than you." As a character. Bill Maher is really that guy.
Dude, I gotta find this. It's fuck.
What is it?
It's Kyle Dunnigan's impression of him.
You know what? Let's take a break. Wait, I gotta take a leak. We've been talking a while. This is so much fun.
Can I play a clip of it? Just
when we
the
come
other.
back. Yeah. We're back. It's funny. I realized what the TV guy wanted me to do. I didn't have the heart to do it. She goes, "You've been getting one back for every guy." Like when my girlfriend was in the blackout, I should have said to her, "Listen, there's a stripper you really owe an apology to." God, you were so rude to this girl. You accused this girl of giving me a blowjob. I said, "Honey, you're seeing things."
Yeah.
But that's when the mystery starts to get solved.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's the only problem.
Typical me, I actually made the right decision to do that. It would be, I would blow it that way. She'd overhear that conversation or something.
That's funny.
So again, you got Kyle Dunnigan, who I know.
Yeah,
Is
he's a
Kyle
funny
the
dude.
one who used to date Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's a really funny dude.
I met him once, very, very good guy and funny. And he does a Mar.
Oh, you
have
gotta
that?
hear this.
Okay.
Well, do you people have any idea how small my penis is? You don't, okay? Imagine a baby carrot, now cut it in half. Well, do you people have any idea how small my penis is? You don't, okay? Imagine a baby carrot, now cut it in half.
Wait a minute, where's he doing this?
He's just talking into his phone.
Oh,
doing
that's
it.
so fucking funny.
He does the face swap thing.
Right.
And he puts Mars' face on him. And he just
Oh, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, he really is a pump. Again, he's that Andy Kaufman character. He's that guy who Andy Kaufman is going over the top with to be an asshole.
There's a story my friend told me. He saw I don't know where he saw it, but he said there was a clip of Bill Maher. He had fans waiting outside for hours. And this guy's like, "Bill Maher, I've been waiting for you for hours outside." Bill Maher just goes, "Bye-bye."
Well, he can be a funny prick.
He did a special a while ago, and he was like in the middle of a religion bit, but it was in like South Carolina, something like it was so like religious, and everyone just went, "Oh!" And the whole audience just turned on him, and he just almost to camera was like, "Well, you can admit we've had fun so far," and it was like totally okay with it. Just
don't
don't
ask questions like that. It's the worst thing you can ask. Again, that religious documentary he did. Okay, he's proving he's smarter than
a Cadillac priest.
Exactly. He might as well talk to a truck. Let's talk about a beach ball coming in.
He's smart enough that he could have made He had like that one scene with that politician he made look really dumb.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he could have done that.
He's doing Barat, that whole, or what's his face, the Buka Katra, whatever the fuck. Again, that's such a funny character, which is why it makes it funnier. But these guys, my only issue with guys like Daniel Tosh and even John Oliver and stuff, you find stuff to make fun of on the internet. I mean, come on, who can't be funny talking about stuff on the internet? I mean, it writes itself.
Joel McHale.
Yeah. Well, even him, like, all you got to do is make a face. You know what I mean? Like someone does, you see a chick blowing a cow and you just go.
The trumpet in the background.
Yeah, Greg Kinnear looked like a young George Carlin for 10 years. They would show that someone on Jerry Springer, then he'd just go, "Whoa, that's weird."
That would almost be funnier, just a guy reacting with no jokes.
Right.
Just a guy like this again.
Well, Janine Garofalo got 3 specials from this punchline. Rolling her eyes. Janine, she fooled everybody in comedy for years by doing this. Speed, that's a good movie. No punchline. Speed, that's plausible. and like every fucking asshole executive's like, no, she's thinking of something so smart and funny. And she's not gonna fucking waste her time saying it. And should we ask her what it is before we give her $2 million? No, that's embarrassing. No, just assume she's smarter and funnier. Okay. Great. So she's just gonna think. She's gonna think smart stuff for an hour on HBO. Yeah, great.
The best is I've seen her do like reading off the piece of paper in the club. Have you heard about this?
I know. I know.
No, you can just hold a newspaper.
Right.
It's not,
yeah. Mort Saul.
Yeah. It was on the scroll last night. We saw it.
The fuck? Yeah, she just.
It was her set dying.
Yeah, she goes on a television show, on the Tonight Show. I'm just going to try some stuff out here. Try some stuff out.
Really work some shit out for 12 million people right now. The most pretentious shit.
The first time I met her, she was dating a friend of mine, Leo Allen, back in the day. And Dirty Work had just come out. And, the movie didn't make any money, but people in comedy, like writers, love Norm. So when they saw me, they would say,
I love that movie.
Yeah, we'd be like, we like the movie. That would be nice and everything. And look, it turned out to be a bit of a cult thing, and I'm happy for Norm because he worked hard on it. And Janine at a party, Jon Stewart had just got The Daily Show, and then Comedy Central had this big party, and she was there with my friend Leo Allen, who was just got a writing job on SNL, and he's a nice guy. And she's like insulting the film. Like why do that? Like, what's your problem? Yeah, great job. Like a sarcastic, like applause, like her punchline. And told me to get her a drink, like in a rude way. And I said, she's a lady. She's married to my dating my friend. I got her a drink. I see her later in the night, and I'm drunk now. And she's still giving me shit. I said to her, listen, and I said this out loud. I said, Janine, there's not enough booze in here to get me to fuck you, but there is enough to get me to punch you in the face. No. And of course, I got accused of wanting to hit a woman. And she tells people it almost cost me work. But my vindication is at the William Shatner fucking roast. She wasn't even there, and I called her a cunt for no reason. It's the biggest laugh I got all night.
Wow.
Because clearly everybody fucking agrees with me. She wasn't even there, out of nowhere. I said, why hit Janine? I've met her. She's an annoying cunt. Applause break.
Oh, man, I remember that.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious though if it just got nothing.
Well, that's what I thought. I said I'm going to say it anyway, and it wasn't even like it was like a fucking C-level joke. I said to Lisa Lampanelli, I said, "You're an annoying fat comedian, lady comedian. You're 7 bad movies away from being Janine Garofalo." And that got a laugh, and then Janine's not there. And I said, why? I know you're saying, why do that, Janine? She's not here to defend herself. And the answer's simple. I've met Janine Garofalo, and she's a fucking cunt. Huge laugh into an applause. I had to stop.
I've actually, in all fairness, she's only been cool when I've seen her, but I've talked to her. I don't know her.
Again, she just had, for some reason, she had a hard on for, again, what you talk about, like, in other words, the story I just told about strippers and stuff, I feel bad for you young guys because you're not allowed to be a guy anymore. And I'm not talking about doing something offensive like being a rapist or something. I'm talking about you can't talk like a guy. You can't talk like dudes used to talk. Again, the Emmys the other night is all just, and I'm fine with it. But now there's an inequality in the other direction. There's no guys. There's like transgender people and the patriarch. They're mad at men. They're all mad at men, and it's a tough time to be a guy nowadays. To just tell a story like that, like I fucked a stripper. That's offensive to people.
Only the stripper.
Well, I mean, that's what I say. Well, the poor stripper. Well, I know, yeah. So probably a bad life, but what about my life?
I was fake dead the next morning. Come on, come with some slack.
My point is, like, you guys are smart enough to get around it, but listen. You have to be very careful now, and it sucks because comedy's hard enough, but when you have those parameters, like Trump is obviously over the top, but Trump talks like a guy used to talk. Trump talks like a fucking guy who yells shit out, usually can be wrong a lot of the times, and wants to put a wall around Mexico. Who's that sound like? My dad. Every night at the dinner table, he said all of Trump's talking points.
And I'd love to drink with your dad, but I wouldn't want him to be president.
Well, that's what I mean. But if my father told me he was president, I'd leave the country.
But I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. I mean,
no, I'm not arguing for his. I'm just saying I'm arguing just to hang as a guy anymore.
I totally agree with you. I mean, that's what you feel on stage sometimes, and I've heard people saying like people are. I heard Seth Rogen the other day say like, I don't see a PC problem. I was like, well, you're not doing the road as a comic,
That's
like,
a great point.
You're making movies, and Seth Rogen makes funny movies, but it's just a different thing.
Totally different. And you know where you see it too. I noticed this when I did the sitcom with Norm, and it was frustrating for him. People who write on sitcoms come from two different places. One is the stand-up world, and the other one is the people who got jobs as assistants at a UCLA for writers on sitcoms that were shitty with laugh tracks. So they've never seen their jokes bomb.
Right.
So they're not. So in other words, the sitcom writers who come from stand-up are better to have because they know something is not good. They're like, no. This is not a good joke. A crowd would not laugh at this. We have to stay and make it better.
Right.
Where the other guys who don't come from that.
Formulaically, it's perfect.
Right. They never heard a joke bomb. We're fine. Let's go home early. Where the stand-up's like, no, we got to make it better.
Right.
And then the PC thing just
it humbles you. It makes you. You're like, I know that this could be bad. Whereas they don't have that.
But don't you guys also think that within a world where it's like it's harder on stage because of it, it leaves room for real comics and real guys that want to actually get on stage and talk about that shit? It kind of leaves room.
Yeah. No, it does, but that doesn't necessarily mean that person's gonna, be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be. No, you're right. It does.
It's a scary time. I think about like you had that thing with ESPN over the tweets. Yeah. I mean, you were going for a joke.
Right.
I mean, not every joke's going to land. It's hard to be funny in text form.
That's
nowadays.
my point. Exactly.
Like,
not every joke is. It's hard enough to be funny with everything fine, and now you put that fucking little, rule there. All these rules, it makes it way harder.
Intent is not people. It's funny that we're comedians, but they're like we're not given the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time in social media. Like I remember I made a joke about gay people, and a gay comic I know tweeted at me like, all right, dude, like that's the lowest form of comedy. And this is a guy who's a comic, by the way, who has a song called "Sniff Your Dick" in his act. So I just wrote that back.
Thank
you have a song called "Sniff Your Dick," so I didn't know who made you the judge of good taste. And he got it. Because he's a comic, he got it. But I'm like, come on, man, you should know better. You know I'm not homophobic.
Right, and again, homophobia, that they hide behind that. You want equality, you're allowed to get goofed on too.
Right.
In other words, if you see a guy who has a shirt that you think is ugly, and you feel comfortable enough to make fun of him, and then there's another guy where you're not comfortable enough, who are you a closer friend with? The guy you could goof on. So if they want to be equal, we could goof on you too.
Right.
And if people are just like, if you goof on them at all, you're wrong. And that sucks. Especially young, stupid people who don't get context. You said gay. How dare you?
Right. It's a weird world when comics are held more accountable for their words than fucking politicians.
Exactly.
Well, that's the other point. I mean? We're not politicians.
Right.
I'm not making policy.
Right. You have Trump going literally.
I'm trying to make you forget it's $14 for a Rolling Rock.
We're not even pundits. I mean, that's the other thing. Is we're not even trying to sway people's beliefs. We're trying to say the funny thing.
The only goal is a laugh.
Right.
That's it.
And that's the thing is okay, you'll laugh when I say a shit joke, but then I say something about a gay joke, and you're like, oh, fuck it. But then, Trump can be like, oh, we'll send all of the Islamic people, send all the Muslims out of the country, and then I make a Muslim joke, and
he's not. I mean, he's not getting away with it. A lot of people say he's wrong, but enough people don't.
Right. He's allowed to run for the presidency.
Well,
he's not allowed. He's not allowed.
He's getting votes.
They chose not to overturn his nomination.
Right. But that's my point. Is like we're held at a higher standard when it's like I just joked.
I don't think I'm held to a higher standard than Trump. I
don't think so.
I don't think the Providence Commie Connection was like easy.
Those
comedy club managers—they're the other ones. They're just fucking hypocrites. They just want laughs. They don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
But
they don't give a shit.
The best thing I heard a couple years ago, maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago, Colin Quinn did one of those speeches at Montreal, and he said how clubs, when a comic bombs for like 2 minutes, they'll be like, "What's happening?" And Colin's like, "That's the fucking process. You're architects of your own destruction." I thought that was such a great way to put it.
And
we're trying to figure shit out sometimes. We'll give you if 43 out of the 45 minutes are killer. Is that enough?
Right. Well, unless you risk failing like that, you're not going to ever get a new joke.
I know.
How the fuck are you going to get new material if you don't risk bombing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good idea to do it on Letterman. But no, you have to go, and that's what the clubs are for, especially in New York. And as a fan of comedy, I would love to see that. Like Seinfeld. The best thing about that documentary comedian is that he let in that he bombed at Gotham that one night, trying new shit, and it was great to see him squirm. And the fact that he left it in, I applauded him for that, because it really is. No matter how famous you get, that bombing is hard to watch, and it's the loneliest feeling on the planet. Planet. But how else are you gonna know if something's good?
I just worked with a comic who was just on the road, and he said that he headlined this small room. It was like the front row was there, you know what I mean? And he did 45 because he was like, "How long do you want me to do? Do you want me to?" And then he was like, "Do the full 45." So he did 5 minutes of crowd work and 40 of material for like 10 people. And the next night, the manager came up to him and was like, "Hey, listen, I really need you to tighten up tonight." And he was like, "You did 5 minutes of crowd work last night," and he was like, "Are you?"
Some guys hate that.
Fuck you.
Some owners hate. I've gotten like memos and emails from shitty clubs where they're just like, anyone can do crowd work. I'm like, first off, that's not true.
First of all, no, of course. And why don't you do it then?
Yeah. But they'll say shit like no crowd. Like some clubs will do that. They get really.
First of all, what gets the biggest laughs? Crowd work. I mean, people,
Yeah, don't do. I mean, material is obviously what we're all going for. But if you do a few minutes of it, it's nice to break up a long set. It's nice to make that show specific.
I think that makes a set complete in a way.
And the crowd loves that. I mean,
look, my late show Saturday Night at Caroline's, there was a guy named Levine in my front row with fucking beads from New Orleans and a Burger King hat, and it was his bachelor party.
Ignore it.
Yeah. I'm fine with it. A bachelor party. He's wearing a Burger King hat. I'm like, dude, if that hat's not filled with cocaine, this is the gay. I mean, it was, by the end of the night, of course, I took his hat and I was pretending I was fucking his face. I said, look, I'm the stripper. That's the news. By the end of the night, I was a stripper. Yeah. There was a black guy that he worked with who was a school teacher who, the entire night, all he did was this. Damn.
Was it Janine Garofalo?
But Levine had a fucking sense of humor. He had a Burger King out. The guy's 34 years old. Where's she keeping your nutsack?
I have a Burger King joke. It would be killer right here.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's like, of course I think a good comic will do that. I mean, you can't ignore it. How about, okay, you know what? You don't want me to do crowd work? Don't let the Puerto Rican bachelorette party of 12 come in. Yelling stuff with fucking, a tattoo of her dead brother on her neck and a belly shirt with a fucking infected belly button from the ring.
Oh.
I saw there was a bachelorette party at my show on Saturday, and they screamed something out. I'm like, don't even try it. I'm already on to you. I know what you want, and you're not going to get
exactly.
it. So. And then they turned out to be amazingly great. So I mean, good. I was wrong.
Sometimes
wrong to judge them, but
sometimes it saves you. Well, first of all, you're never wrong to judge.
That's true.
You're a comic.
If you're wearing a penis hat, I can judge you. That's my rule.
We should be judging. We're comics.
Just turn off your glow-in-the-dark dick pop, please.
I judge you spending your special night with me.
That's what I said to the I go, guys, this is his bachelor party? The Artie Lang
and
show?
The late show? Maybe the early show, but the late show?
I said, what are you doing after this? I hope you're going to a Scores or something.
It was Burger King and then Artie.
Yeah.
After this, he's going to his shift at Burger King.
I was gonna say. Check it. Give you my order now. Then when the one guy tried to get, Artie, come out with us. We got a limo. I was like, listen, I've been in show. I look like a slob. I've been in show business for 20 years. A limo, you're gonna have to do better than that. Come on, Artie, we got air conditioning in the limo. Well, I'm like, a limo. Wow. you have an in-ground pool?
Yeah.
A limo.
That'd be great if they opened the door and the stripper popped out blowing him.
Well, then, of course, you gave me the thing of like the black guy was like, so you let the driver come in too? And he went, damn. Again, it's so fun. You wake up one day and you're going, I've been playing these clubs I've been doing this a long time. It's like you start to get a fucking attitude of like, I don't know. I guess I just, what if I said this out loud? Like in my head, I go, what if I said this right now? I'm 49.
That's the other thing. They don't get that what offends them is not even close to what offends us.
Right.
We've seen and heard everything. I was a longshoreman. I drove a cab. I was on Stern for 8 years. I've been a road comic for 30. Okay? I've been to L.A. County Jail. What are you going to say to offend me? Unless you're raping my mother.
And even that is...
Yeah.
Even then, you better be saying a Puerto Rican.
Well, right. Even then, it'd be like, well, she's a little promiscuous. She was asking for it.
Look at how she's dressed.
Yeah. That Muccinell could have been a
Even then, you got to be quoting Garofalo.
Yeah, you're quoting Garofalo.
Yeah, the only way that would have been offensive is
That's her punchline.
if you were rolling your eyes while raping my mother.
She's thinking something smart.
Her punchline was my crowd's response to me all fucking weekend.
Where were you?
I was at the Comedy Connection in
Providence.
Providence. It's a great club. That's the thing.
Is.
Is like I loved it, and for whatever reason, the crowds were just so freaking tight for me. They got to a point in the late show Saturday where I just sat in the stool and I was like, "You win."
Right.
Well,
you know what's funny? The San Francisco thing is sad, but you know where I benefit? The crazy Stern fans. When I did the punchline pre-Howard, and it was difficult because of what you just said with the crowds. After Howard, my crowd was no San Francisco people. I got crazy people from Oakland that came over to play. So I in the middle of San Francisco, I could say Joe Montana, and it gets booed.
Wow.
So I could be offensive again, or say whatever I want. But before, you do get those judgmental. It's almost like you go, why are you even at a comedy show? If you're that uptight, why?
Well, it's to be smarter.
You're booing premises. You're voting.
Right.
I'm not in your parking lot. I mean, you came to a fucking club.
Exactly. It's so frustrating. And again, you guys are younger, and I'm sure you'll be fine. But it's frustrating.
Well, sometimes I feel like the clubs are like in a way dying because of it. Because the
Absolutely,
clubs are,
the clubs are going under. Yeah. Well, what do you mean as far as like...
well, I think people still come out, but like the art of like a comedy... That sounds pretentious the way I'm saying it, but you know what I mean.
No, but you're right. I hear you.
There is like an art of club comedy. And
there
like,
is.
Guys
absolutely.
like you and guys like Attell and like... And like those are guys that I was like, oh, that's a fucking real club comic.
Well, and Attell, the thing about Attell is he's proud of it. Like some people think that's a condescending insult in Hollywood, and Attell, and I wear it too. I mean,
I think it's cool.
It's so fucking cool. It's a great thing to be. And it isn't
to be great at it.
I mean, to be like Attell at it or something. Or
Attell, you don't want to see Attell in a theater. You want to see him in a club. You want to see him like a small setting. Just
Thursday night doing 20 minutes. The only comedian in history I'd rather see in that setting is Dave Attell.
Yeah.
And you guys, Sam, you're doing great too, man. It's you guys are Kev. I work with you. It's like you take risks. You're guys. Look, you got to. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but you got to realize. Think about how much older I am. I got 20 years on you guys. 20 years difference. It has changed a lot.
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine.
And unfortunately, from what we're like, me and Attell, when we talk about it, we go, these crowds are not prepared for what they're about to see. They grew up with the MTV hate speech from Bon Jovi. Richie Sambora said, "You see something wrong, say something right," or whatever, and the more you know stuff. And now they're seeing us, who I was brought up on Kinnison. It's a different time. The world got better and nicer because, of course, it's better that people don't say the N-word anymore. That's fantastic. But in comedy, in the right context, even
hilarious.
If you're telling a story and look, if you're telling a story and the only way it's funny is to say that full word, you have to say it. If not, you might as well not tell the story. So let me know what the parameters are.
100%.
Even Chris Rock said that. It's like, it's just a different time.
Well, here's the thing: is like, okay, I obviously least experience in the room in terms of comedy. Here's the thing. Artie,
Well, you're 30. How old are you? 30?
I'm 31.
Sam, you're 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be 49. It's still 20 years.
Right.
Go ahead.
But see, like, you guys are the guys, like, Sam, your generation is the generation that when I was doing New Talent, you guys were doing guest spots at Caroline's, and you guys were starting to get the ball rolling. So you guys are the generation that I chase right away. Like, I don't look at my own generation of comics. I look at what you guys are doing, and I follow that. And then I look at what you're doing, and, like, I go on the road with Carlos Mencia. I watch what he does, and then my roommate, Gino Visconti.
Right.
What is that? What is touring with Mencia like? Jesus fucking Christ. Does everyone have that reaction? I do. Shit. You better make sure he doesn't listen to this podcast. You got a few lines.
You opened for Mencia?
Yeah.
Oh.
For the last year and a half.
Jeez.
Dude, it's fucking awesome.
Well,
Absolutely
but he is a
awesome.
real thief, though. I mean, he is. I mean, of cars. No.
It's like telling me you work for the Wolf of Wall Street. Jesus Christ.
It's just he whatever. How'd you hook up with him?
I met him through another comic about a year and a half ago, up at the Syracuse Funny Bone.
Right. Okay.
I was just working with another comic, and he needed a ride, and he was working with him, and he was like,
he needed a ride.
I swear to God, he needed a ride.
Yo. Why did he steal a car?
Not Mencia. Not Mencia.
Car and a trunk full of jokes in it.
The other comic needed a ride. You guys are gonna get me fired. Fuck you guys.
Why'd you bring him up?
We can't not mention
You know
Mencia,
that's a
man.
risky name to bring up.
No, I do. And here's my point. Is like, I watch you guys, because I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I watch that dude on stage, and he does not give a fuck.
No
what
one's
he
saying
talks
that.
about.
No
Everyone
one-
knows he doesn't give a fuck. He's a joke thief. I mean, the thing about Mencia, though, is like everyone will always. Here's the thing people defend on him on. They're like, he murders. I'm like, who gives a murdering?
A lot of people kill. Hacks kill. Guitar hacks kill.
I've watched him, and like, I don't want to get you in trouble, but like, dude, the guy is.
Yeah.
He is a fucking thief.
Of course.
It's just.
He's a guy where it's really documented. And look, the mind of Mencia is like everyone else's mind, but Mencia's. It should have been go.
George Lopez is mind of Mencia.
Again, those guys. George Lopez is another guy who, at the end of every joke, he makes that face like.
He couldn't believe he told a joke. He's surprised.
That's the punchline. Yo, you got the chaquita.
Bum, 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 bum,
And then he goes into Spanish every once in a while. Yeah, esta loca.
Does he have stock in the song Lowrider?
Yes, I think he
Better.
does. I think
He
he does.
better. He's a billionaire. By the
Oh,
way.
he must.
Chilo.
Well, all right, anyway, now that I'm unemployed, no.
Any other stories?
Yeah. Well, first off, let me just tell you, he's been nothing but good to me, and I'm not saying that because I'm fucking.
No, I know.
I'm gunning. What I'm saying is what I've worked with him for a year and a half. I've seen him.
You know,
and I
that's what Patricia Krenwinkel said about Manson in the trial. First of all, Your Honor, he's been nothing but good to us. I can't speak for the baby he cut out of Sharon Tate's body. Or I can't speak for the baby he ordered cut out of a woman. But me, he's been nice to. I can't speak for the Sharon Tate who died a slow death bleeding while her baby's blood was used to write pig. But he's been good to me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Clearly, Mencia is not on that level.
He's been fucking great to me. He really has. He's
You're steamrolling it.
I am fucking plowing, baby.
Go ahead.
And I've seen what he does on stage in terms of he goes to the fucking limit. You guys go to limit. I've watched you for fucking years doing it, and stop smiling. Fuck you.
I mean,
here is my point. Is that I
just hate stealing from Mencia and you realize you're stealing from somebody else. I get him.
Do any of you need an opener? Here's my point. My generation.
I got a funny Mencia story.
Jesus Christ! Don't do this.
I'll tell it after this. It's fun.
Since this is the last thing I'll ever say in comedy, my generation.
Dude, he's not that powerful.
Yeah, I
anymore.
like to think losing one fucking week into Gotham is going to change your career.
Do you want to see my bank account?
Dude, he's not Jerry Bruckheimer.
No, I think that my generation of comic are the biggest fucking pussies coming up because I think everyone tiptoes what you can and can't say on stage. And this is what I was saying before, is it leaves room for comics that want to say shit. I watch guys like you and...
Well, in all fairness to me, it's fair. It's easy for me to talk shit because I have some money in the bank and I did what I did. I mean, I'm looking at the end that's closer than the beginning in every way. So
That's not true. You've always been like that.
No, well, I mean, yeah, but it was easier to be that way. In other words, doing it now is really impressive, which is why, one of the reasons I like Sam so much. But doing it now is harder, and it's more.
Right.
But like, what do you mean by you're Sam's generation? What are you talking about?
No, I mean Sam's been doing it.
But age-wise,
age-wise, yes,
yeah.
age-wise.
Okay.
And maybe that's why I've tried to steer more towards the edge and more towards talk about things that aren't politically correct on stage and talk about things that you shouldn't be able to get away with. I want to find a way to get away with that. Like Sunday, I was hosting the show and
Speaking of getting away with things, Mencia is
motherfucker.
No, Carlos, in a very brave way, made a fucking decision to steal from edgy guys.
I'm gonna jump off the balcony like Dana. You're gonna have to.
I grabbed her.
Okay, well, do me the favor and nobody grab me when I jump.
Well, you don't jumped off the balcony. You're a bunch of comics who stole from me. No, so are you done with this analogy?
I'm bringing it home because this is going to be the last thing I ever do as a comic.
That's not true. He has no power. What are you talking about?
I'm joking.
He's not even the most powerful guy named Carlos.
Carlos Baerga, Carlos.
I'm sure we could find a guy.
Carlos Danger.
Yeah, all those guys. I'm sorry, again.
I'm done. No,
how about the mind of Dombrowski?
Like,
no, dude, one time he walked into the cellar and he looks different. He's much thinner now, Carlos Mencia.
Really?
He lost a lot of weight.
yeah, he lost a lot. He looks like he used to look.
Well, he walked in. It was probably a couple of years ago, and
it goes with he lost weight, credibility. I'll take him out of here.
But so he walks in, and Keith Robinson sees him, and he goes, "Oh, look, it's Mike Vecchione," and we all laugh. We all lost in laughing, and we all didn't realize we're laughing at Carlos Mencia. We all were like, "Oh, it's just some dude that looks like Mike Vecchione."
Yeah.
So we're all just laughing in his face,
That's
and he's
funny.
like, "Who the fuck are?" And I asked Keith, "Is like, I never liked him." He's like, "Fuck that guy," and it was kind of uncomfortable. And I'm like, man, yeah, Mencia's got a lot of. He's famous, and he's probably got a lot of money, but it's got to be weird to not be able to walk in.
He's got a bunch of money, and exactly, it's hard to in a way you have to give up because part of the fun of being a comedian. I think even more so than an actor because actors are so phony and it's fun. The camaraderie is a hard thing to give up. No matter how famous
everything.
you get, yeah, right. You want I never got bigger than maybe on a good year like a B- list guy, but that's farther than a lot of guys get. And I could never have given up. I loved going to the cellar, and if there was something about me like being known as a thief or something where I couldn't do that. It would suck. It would
eat at you.
It would be a big void in my life. Absolutely. And the fact that he still tries to go. And look, first of all, a guy like Keith Robinson, that's a dying breed. If you want to know if a shirt looks good on you, call Keith Robinson. He's not going to lie to you. And
you can't take a fashion risk around that guy.
Man, that fucking guy wears Gucci sneakers. But he's
the worst dressed guy on the planet.
He really is.
And he
really is. He's got balls. But that table at the cellar is a good example. That used to be a very different hang, man. It's much.
Oh, I miss that though. We talked about that last time.
Oh yeah, I miss much. That I missed. It was evil.
Did it ever get kind of intimidating though? Do you ever walk in do you ever get annoyed walking in?
You mean now?
No, back then.
Oh yeah,
when it was
absolutely. Especially if you got a little success and you knew someone didn't respect it, or
what kind of things would happen?
Well, you'd be a guy like Patrice would just call you out on it. You know what happened? I asked Caroline's. I had to play Carnegie Hall, and I asked Caroline's if I could do a weekend there, and a few weeks before, and I said, "Don't bump any headliner." I would never want to do that to anybody. And they said, no, we'll work something out. I found out they did bump a headliner. And then I find out later it's Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, God.
The absolute worst thing that could have happened. So I walk into the cellar, and he goes, let me tell you something, you lucky motherfucker.
Oh, man.
If you want to,
Oh,
you're talking to, hey, it's your opening act, Patrice. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to shut up because he's right. I said, how could you bump Patrice O'Neal? And he just laid into me, and he was like, and something like that happening, which is a dick move. I was
But
naive.
he kept it honest, so I don't even think that's him being a dick. I think he's kind of like...
No,
look,
not being a dick. I'm saying it was an example of him being right in the sense that it wasn't
Exactly.
I said it wasn't my
your
fault.
No, but
it was. But how does Caroline? How do the people there do that? Not knowing your business. I beg them. I said I don't even want you to bump like a guy I don't even know, Patrice of all fucking people. I said that. How do you say that to one of the best comics working? I took. You know what? I sat there and took it because I said, fine.
Well, dude, nowadays it's like that guy would just kind of like talk shit about you,
right?
But because that's the thing is like everyone's overly nice. Like people will post late night sets on Facebook.
Becoming like actors.
Well, they'll post late night sets on Facebook and they'll be like, "This guy murdered," and then I look at it, I'm like, that was one of the worst sets.
That
I've ever
is
seen.
horrible.
So it's like there's so much. I'm like, do you really believe that, or are you just trying
It's
to score
networking.
points?
It's online
that
networking.
aspect of it is horrible about you guys.
I get supporting people, but like,
Yeah.
don't fucking lie.
Yeah,
Don't lie.
And you know
about
what?
it.
If you know you had a bad set, I don't want that. It's
People did that to
patronizing.
me on my first Conan set, and I was so not thrilled with the set.
Right.
People were like, he destroyed. I'm like, no, I didn't. I did fine. I got.
Well, it's rare that I do that just for that reason. And like the Colbert thing with you, I said, you know what, I this is justified. I'll support Sam because I've known him. And again, you were on my show. I said that was a set clearly you were happy with the Colbert thing, right? I mean,
My opener didn't get what I wanted, and I was a little nervous.
but
about it.
that was good. It was a
Yeah,
good job.
it was good, but the only issue I think I would have done better now. I think the crowds have they figured out stand up there.
That's another thing too. The crowds.
I was the
Yeah.
third stand up on that show.
Oh, really?
It was Seinfeld, Maria Bamford, and then I was the first.
Really?
Yeah, and then they just booked me, and I was like, this is great. I didn't believe that they were really booking me.
I gotta say, I did stand up on Fallon's Tonight Show, and the crowd could not have been better. They really did.
That was a good crowd.
Well, they were like, you were there, right?
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I saw it.
Oh, I thought you were. Yeah, but I know it was like, wow, they were a good stand-up crowd. Letterman's crowds, when I used to do the paneling with Letterman, they were too hot almost.
Really? They were so
Well, they
happy
were
to be
used to
there.
Yeah, and they clap instead of laugh. I hate that. It throws off your timing.
Yeah.
And then if Letterman hits you with a zinger, which you want, I love that. They clap for, it's like the fucking State of the Union address for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And Arsenio Hall changed all that. Before Arsenio Hall, you watch some of the old Lettermans when he's at NBC, like 84-ish. Like him and John Candy. John Candy would have a cigarette. It'd be two witty guys having a witty conversation that was so enjoyable, like Albert Brooks and Carson. They didn't need a guffaw every 5 seconds, like it was a cheerleading thing. There was just two funny guys talking, like they would be at a diner, and it was so entertaining to me. Arsenio Hall changed that with the Dog Pound, and of course Jay Leno, who was an amazing comedian. I saw him pre-Tonight Show 3 times. The guy was a fucking monster, just so good. But sold his soul to the devil. When Jay Leno ran into the crowd doing the high fives, when he first started doing that to combat Arsenio, I said, it's over. Now it's all going to be just, you need an applause break with every joke.
Yeah, they're like dolphins now, you know.
Right, exactly.
bummer.
Did I just give you a fish?
But yeah, you're right. When the crowd's too juiced, it's almost like then you throw a tag in. Now it's
Right,
like
yeah,
30
no,
seconds
yeah,
after
exactly.
the joke.
It's
It
Good
doesn't
point.
even make sense.
The timing gets fucked. That Tonight Show set I could almost, like, some of the applause, you could see me going like, wait, no, stop. What am I, Christy Yamaguchi?
But it's like it's not even nice because I just feel it as fake when people
Right.
are doing this because people be like, "Oh, this guy," and I'm like, "I know you don't think that." And I know that,
Right.
or it's like so. Then you see the person, and you're like, "I don't trust this person." now.
Not anymore. Well, first of all, the worst thing about comedy is someone who always compliments you, because their opinion means nothing. If someone gives it up, who never does. Again, use as an example because people know Attell. Like if Attell tells you, gives you a compliment, you know you did something right. There's people, even comedians who do it are the worst. You're a comedian. You're supposed to be the opposite of this. You're supposed to be cynical. But again, as an example of changing times, the Comedy Cellar table was a very different place. Like Patrice O'Neill and Nick DiPaolo, they should have had a sitcom. If the world was right. What they said to each other was insane, but so funny.
It's kind of a bummer that it seems like there's an LA mentality of people being overly nice, and ball-busty comedy is frowned upon.
Right. It's mean. And that word mean.
But mean, yeah, and it's like, it's the opposite of mean. I think I'm actually being nice because I'm being honest with you.
What do friends do? They goof on each other. That's what a friend is.
Isn't it meaner to be misleading?
No. Yes, absolutely. And again, you say LA, it's what actors do. The acting world is different than the comedian world, and I was making a living in both for a while. Actors are phony. They're everything's always great, and they secretly hate each other. A comic should be what Keith Robinson is, and a lot of
Keith.
Right, that's what I mean. A lot of them are like that.
Well, I think the meanest thing in comedy is to be ignored. If you're at that table and no one's talking, you know what I mean?
If they don't shit on you, I remember I told Gary Goldman once when I was new.
They don't like you.
I was new at the Cellar, and I left. I'm like, man, Keith shits on me a lot. He's like, and he goes, I'm so jealous.
Right.
I'm so jealous.
Of course, it engages you.
He's like, I would kill for having shit on me.
Listen, Keith has gotten me into some of the worst trouble because a lot of times I'll walk in on Keith like slamming like Bobby Kelly or something, and then I find out what the subject is, and then I say stuff that's really like, okay, we might not talk for 3 weeks. It's like, but again, it's who do you rather see? Someone you can be honest with. That's what a fucking friend is. A guy you goof on. You goof on each other. That's how you know people are tight. You're familiar with them. And if you could be that way with an audience, making a connection with an audience is what a comic wants to be. And of course, a lot of it for me was the radio, but the connection I have with those people is very special to me. It's great. You don't have to fucking win them over. My second special on Comedy Central, my opening line is, before I say hello, I'm glad Heath Ledger died, and I'll tell you why. It gets a 5-minute ovation.
That's fucking great.
Because they know I'm a scumbag. I don't have to win them over anymore.
But
they know you're not just saying it to be a dick. They know something funny's coming.
Well, that's what it turns out to be a joke on me, because I say, look, I finally could get the parts I was losing out to him. So obviously, I'm saying I'm a slob. He was a good-looking guy, and
that's a great misdirect because it starts with something mean and it's self-deprecating.
It's a fat joke on me about it.
That's great.
Right.
I go, I can't tell you how many times it was between me and Heath Ledger for a fucking and I auditioned for Brokeback Mountain. But
that's the mountain.
Right. See, if you were standing there, you should have said that. No, I said, it went into a homophobic fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's ass. Talking about a misdirect. I said I fucked the shit out of Jake Gyllenhaal's ass, but he got it because he was good looking. But yeah, and again, you're right. I'm proud of that joke. I'm proud of it. And if the crowd doesn't know me, that's a tough opener.
And it's a tone setter too. I love it.
The best. The Onion gave it a great review, and they said that line is why we like this. Like what it's, and you make again Richard Pryor. That awesome hour he did, the first concert film, Richard Pryor Live, where he does the snake bit and he does a bit about shooting his wife's car
and his dad, right?
His dad, right?
That's a great.
And the characters. He's 40 years old in that. In other words, he's lived life already, and he's telling you about it. And the crowd knows him, and it's like here's what you want as a comedian. You want them to be like your friends who know you, and they go, "Oh, Artie did this again," and that's how you start off. There's a familiarity, and it's hard to get that unless you're brutally honest and maybe mean sometimes. But
your intentions are not to be mean, though. That's the difference.
Not at all.
Intent is everything.
Right. That word "mean" is misused. They think something's mean, and it's not. I'm not trying to be mean. You're right. The direct opposite is true. And it's frustrating. If the direct opposite is thought of what you're trying to do, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. You feel misunderstood. You feel misunderstood, and that's why that Onion interview probably is so meaningful, because you're like, they got me.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
understood me.
I framed that review. I'm like, the guy got everything I was trying to do. And it happens sometimes. Like, people wouldn't get Norm Macdonald. I opened for Norm on the road quite a bit when Dirty Work came out, and they'd review the shows because there were theater shows, and he'd been fired from SNL recently, and critics were interested in the review. Although the funniest thing ever was a guy in a small town paper. I guess it was just almost a joke thing. His entire review was, Mr. Lang made me nauseous, Mr. McDonald made me throw up. But we were in San Francisco, and I thought he was being offensive. I thought the crowd, he walked people. And but he barreled through like Norm does, did an hour and a half. The guy in the San Francisco Chronicle the next day got Norm like nobody ever did. It was a rave. And everything he said was exactly what Norm goes for. It's like, that's fun to see. But
yeah,
I think you guys have it harder. I do. But when you shine like you guys do, it's great. It's great to see, man. It really is.
I think it just forces you to get really. You have to put out good shit.
And it's great when you got the work ethic to do it. It's great when you notice that, and you do it. You work hard to do it. You know.
You know what? It makes me feel like a real comic doing shit like that. Sunday night, I opened a
Where
show.
were you this weekend?
I was at just Broadway, doing an 11 o'clock show, and I was hosting.
How is that room, by the way, Broadway?
It's a great workout room. It really is. It's Sam, you and I were talking about that a while ago.
I don't really. They never book me anymore. I used to call in there.
Why is that?
Well, they've banned me from that club probably 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was always an issue, but yeah, it's a great workout room.
So go ahead, Kev.
I liked it when I was there.
Yeah.
I'm never there.
If you can get in, it's a great workout room. So I opened up Sunday. I opened up a show. I host a lot. I MC. It's like my bread and butter. So I opened up the show talking about the explosion on Saturday and the ridiculousness of it. It's not. I understand the precautions and the measures that we take post 9/11 to make sure people are safe, shut down part of the city, everything like that. I get it. I'm okay with that. But can
It's good that you get that.
You get it?
There's no joke. Everyone's like, that's a good point. I like that.
And now Mayor de Blasio.
Commissioner Kelly, please. No, so I was like...
There's a guy next to you doing sign language.
Your next comic understands the fire department.
Fucking hell. I was like, but can we stop praying for each other when a fucking dumpster explodes in New York City? And it's all over social media, like prayers for Chelsea, prayers for this. Here's the thing, like people are like, 7 weeks ago, I was on 23rd Street. That could have been me. And I'm like, the only way that could have been you is if you were taking the fucking garbage out on Saturday night.
Well, they all want to be part of it. They all want to show that they want you to hear how it affected me. That's what social media is. It just shows how self-involved these people
Exactly.
are.
But that's the point.
Fuck the people. Take attention where the people got hurt.
Right. Well, here's the thing. 29 people got hurt.
Wasn't it Gary Johnson? He said, he's like, luckily no one was hurt. There's like 29 people in the hospital. Yeah. You're confusing hurt with killed. People were hurt.
Can we get back to Aleppo?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is like, okay, 29 people in the hospital.
That's hilarious.
The next day, 29 people are out because they had fucking Band-Aids. Like, let's move on and stop focusing on the wrong shit.
Well, again.
I love that you're focusing on your set, though.
Right.
Can we stop focusing on the tragedy that was 30 minutes ago?
Here's why my comedy is good. And you're 20. Here's why you 29 people are hurt. I feel bad. But here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why my set about your injuries. Well, that's my problem with the movie Titanic. 1,500 people really died. It gets you to fucking give a shit about 2 fucking people who never existed.
Right. Yeah. By the way,
I give a fuck.
The set was in the
Jack
ER.
Dawson died.
The set was in the ER for the 29 people, but they took it.
That was damn nice here.
Right.
You ever hear Roy Wood Jr.'s bit about Titanic? It's one of the funniest bits.
Oh, what is it?
Basically, it's just about how it's a story about a woman who got dick so good she remembered it on a boat.
I have heard that.
That is an old woman recounting stuff. She can't remember a fucking shit she took to it. That's a funny premise.
Oh, dude,
that's
it's like a 5-minute bit, and it's fucking killer. It's fucking funny.
When that came out, I said that was a perfect thing. It was popular enough to do it, Bill. I said it's times like this when a movie's that popular that I wish I was a black comedian because it's so easy to write material. Now, Brothers was on a Titanic. That shit be different. Fuck the bitches and children. I'm getting on the lifeboat. That's all I got. I call it
They would have been
black
late for the
hack.
iceberg or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Black. I call that black hack.
Yeah. Hump the stool. Thank you. Good night.
And then you end with the white guy voice. Pass the potatoes.
Women and children, please.
Guys, great job. This was
It was fun.
This was a good time.
this was a great hang, man. So many, a lot of great stuff. You guys were perfect. And again, anytime, Sam, open door, man. Come back, all right?
Anytime, man.
And,
Anytime I don't have a spot.
This is how you do it. What's that? One day a year.
I'm gonna be opening for Sam now at that spot.
And I'm going to
look,
be stealing your material to honor Carlos.
yo, if brothers on a Titanic, that should be different.
Dun, 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 dun.
Take my wife, please. Yo, I ain't getting no respect up in this motherfucker. he just steals famous like catchphrases. Hamburger. Yo, hamburger. What plug? Got any plugs, Kev? What do you got? You'll be doing material about the 29 people where.
Yeah, I'll be doing that bit only tomorrow. No, I don't know. Facebook, Kevin Dombrowski.
Kevin Dombrowski. What's your Twitter? At Kevin Dombrowski?
At Kevin Dombrowski.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got all my dates and shit up there.
And Sam, what do we got?
I'm with Amy Schumer on Friday and Saturday, DC and Philly.
Oh, that's great. Where's she playing?
I don't know. I have no idea.
show up.
I'm lazy. I get the email and I'm like, all right, money.
Just
and,
know what? When it's Amy, you go, where do the Capitals play? That's
I'm there,
great.
And I'm at Portland Helium the following weekend. I think that's
Maine or Oregon?
Oregon.
Oh, okay, great. Man.
Yeah, I've never been to Portland, man. I'm psyched.
Dude, it's a great city unless you're a
can't
comedian. I think San Francisco was rough. Woo. No, I'm kidding. No, that's great, man.
Should be fun.
Again, come back. And you're at Sam Morrill, right?
Yeah, Morrill.
It's 2 L's?
1 L.